Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the support of viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to Illinois Stories. I'm Mark McDonald in Clinton at the home of Joel Hendricks, who since the age of 8 has loved Native American art and clothing, and since the age of 9 began making it, and now is a nationally known judge at powwows that occur all over the country, and a terrific collector of Native American art and clothes, and also a creator of it. And we're at his home now to see some of his collection and to talk to him about his love for these items, how it happened, and you're actually going to show us too how you make some of this stuff, right?
I'd be glad to, Mark.
Look at this table. It's incredible. And this is just a very small percentage of this stuff. I asked you to lay out a few things. And boy, you didn't disappoint.
Well, and I didn't go to the garage, I didn't go to the basement, and I didn't get the things up in the attic.
Oh, it's remarkable. And a lot of this stuff, as I mentioned, you have made yourself.
I enjoy doing beadwork. I enjoy doing ribbon work. I enjoy going to powwows and doings. It's been a lifelong interest. I've met wonderful people all over the United States.
Yeah, and I'll bet they say the same thing about you. Joel, I mentioned at the age of 8, you fell in love with this art. How did that happen?
Well, a long time ago, I was restricted to stay in the yard. I was not allowed to take off on my own. I couldn't be a street kid. So my mom would take me up to the library every week there in Mattoon, Illinois. And every time I would come home with a book on American Indians. There were people like Solomon writing books, people like W. Ben Hunt and Bernard S. Mason, and I rubbed the ink right off the pages. And they were how-to books. They talked about Indian life, they talked how to make a teepee, how to make a wigwam, how to make moccasins. And I could even get instructions how to make things out of shredded wheat boxes. Used to be that the shredded wheat had a cardboard in between the biscuits, and those were tips from Straight Arrow. I ate so much shredded wheat.
It was like baseball cards to you,
It was
right?
like
Chew as much
baseball
gum
cards.
as you can.
And you know I still have them.
Right now we're looking at some of your beadwork, and at least I think this is some of your beadwork. Is this white? Is this yours here?
That was gifted to me. That's native made, and next to it is a pair of cuffs. That piece is my work.
Okay.
That's native made.
Okay.
And then next to it are the legging strips on the blue cloth leggings.
You better show those to me because I'm not too...
This is my work here.
Oh, okay. These are the leggings.
These are legging strips that I did.
Oh,
this apron, I sewed it up.
This piece here.
It has ribbons and brass sequins.
Wow. And
those are men's clothes.
Those are men's clothes. Okay, let's show some other things that go with that. Now, when you go to powwows, those might be the clothes you wear, and then these are these sort of accoutrements or the things that go with. Huh?
This would be a breastplate that could go with those clothes. If one dresses to dance at a powwow, one needs to pick a tribe and a theme. One needs to wear appropriate clothes. And then for the next dance session, that evening or the next day, you put on a new different set of clothes. In other words, a serious dancer will have 4 or more sets of clothes.
And did you have to learn the dance steps as
well?
Yes. So it's not you just show up. I mean, you're expected to learn and be culturally correct, I guess, right?
It's etiquette.
It's etiquette.
It's a borrowed culture. I'm an Irishman. I am not a native, never have been. But I love the art, I love the history, I love the culture. I respect it by listening, by asking polite questions, reading material that's germane, going to museums.
Can you describe this piece for us?
This is a piece that a man wears. This is typical of South Dakota and Nebraska. The Lakota people, the Cheyenne people used to take river otters, and that's what this critter is an otter, split it from nose to tail, and here's the tail hanging down the back. Put little mirrors on it. Trade mirrors at the trading posts were popular. Seashells from the Gulf. This is a conch shell, piece of a conch shell, and that's a blue Peking China bead. These are brass sequins held on with little white heart red
amount
beads.
of work that goes into this.
These are cellulose rings that were available in the old days, and very collectible now.
Now, you showed us this breastplate before. And these look like little pipes or something. Are these
Those
bones?
bone beads are originally from pipe stems for cob pipes. Native people saw the cob pipes. They liked the idea of stringing beads. They had been making beads like this from bird bones and also from shell.
Okay.
But to have them already manufactured and buy them by the dozen gave an opportunity to wear a breastplate.
Now,
So
your
a
wife.
man,
Okay.
a man wears a breastplate like so, and the bones go like your ribs. A lady wears hers.
Well, let's show that because
In
this
the
is your
other
wife's
direction.
dress, right?
This
Now, this only weighs about 15 pounds.
This
I'm
is
telling
made
you,
of elk.
your
One
wife
elk
is
hide
a
on the front,
pretty
another
strong
on the
woman to
back.
be able to wear this around.
Oh,
but this
you're
is
not
this is
telling
the
me
elk
anything.
hide, and this is when she joins you at powwows, and this would this be a dancing outfit or clothes?
This is a set of dance clothes.
And
With
again,
it
those
goes
pipes.
a belt and a beaded knife case, and they're laying over there under those
Well, we might
leggings.
get to those. I don't think we could find those right now. And would you hold up your wife's other, because like you say, you don't show up at one of these powwows with one set of clothes.
Right.
You have more than that. And
Now
this is
another
something.
set of clothes, and a native person made that buckskin
and that's
dress.
that's and you said that's elk skin.
That is elk skin. But another set of clothes that she wears, and here's the purse to go with, is Seminole from Florida. This is a nice summer weight dress. Seminole clothes
beautiful.
are three-part. One, you have a skirt. Two, you have a blouse. And then over it, you have this mosquito netting. I can show you something. If those of you are out looking for and shopping to get native art, if you make a trip down to Florida, if you go to the museum down there on the Tamiami Trail, you can see all of the beautiful patchwork
Wow.
that the ladies use in making these outfits. And if I'm going to open this up, you can see usually there will be three
That's
bands of ribbon, or not ribbon work, but patchwork. And in the old days, scissors were not used. The cloth was simply torn into strips, sewn together on a hand crank sewing machine, and then put them together with the fabric. And there's the finished side. And then rickrack was always popular.
That's
But this was a way of wearing a cotton dress, cool, in the high humidity of Florida.
Let's walk this way, work our way around this way. I think we mentioned these moccasins a little earlier. You make a lot of moccasins,
I
don't
make,
you?
oh, I've made 150 pairs of moccasins over the years. I make doll moccasins and big people's moccasins.
Well, we're going to see you're working on a little newborn, a pair for a newborn, aren't you?
On northern plains, moccasins had a sole on the bottom and then an upper, and then the third item is the tongue, and that's what this is here, if I can pull it out. So those are the 1, 2, 3 parts of the Plains Indian footwear, moccasins. And what's peculiar about moccasins is whatever your mother had, that's what you will have. And she learned from her mother, from her mother, her mother. So even if you wear different clothes, one can almost look at a person's moccasins and know what tribe he's from.
Is that right?
There are tribal distinctions. If we look at the red moccasins,
Let's go that way. I'll hold these up for you.
that's a pair that my wife and I made for my late mother. And here again, you can see it has the hard sole. And in this case, the upper is completely covered with beads. And this is referred to as a buffalo track pattern.
Yeah.
If you ever look in the mud, you can see the print of the buffalo.
Be darned.
And then you can see the little design. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In Lakota moccasins, if you're imitating the Lakota style, 7 is a special number. There's 7 groups of the Lakota people.
And look how tight that beadwork is. Every centimeter's covered.
These are 35 years old.
Wow. They're beautiful. Look at this table.
Oops.
Look at this table. There's other moccasins down there. I'll tell
Now
you what we're
there's
going
a
to do.
pair of moccasins there.
Is that the one closest to us?
Closest to you?
Can I grab that?
Those are Kickapoo. Now here at Clinton, Illinois, there was a time when Kickapoo Indian people lived just west of town. And a Kickapoo moccasin is simply one piece. Out of one piece of leather, you cut and you sew here at the toe and pucker it, and then you sew right up here. Cover it over with beadwork, or a little bit of beadwork, or no beadwork. And it is cut in such a way that it has 2 ears. Now I'm going to turn this wrong side out. This is the shoelace to tie them on. And when I turn this the other way out, you can see the puckering where the stitching was done.
Oh, sure.
But now you can see, and this is brain tanned and then smoked. If you take the hide from the deer, and if you wash and clean it, take off any fat, muscle residue, take off any hair of the deer, wash it again, and then make a gravy of contents to soak in. And after it's soaked for at least a day and maybe 2 days, usually it's the brains of the same animal, and you make a gravy, rub it in, work it in, and then after it's soaked for a day or 2 days, wash all of that out, and then start pulling, stretching, pulling as it dries. That breaks the fibers, and that makes for the buckskin. Then, last, if you'll take that deer hide that you have tanned and softened and put it over a smoky fire, the nicotine from the smoke penetrates into the fibers and waterproofs.
No kidding.
In the process, it's just like your lungs if you were a smoker. It gets dark.
Okay.
Well, so the intent is not darken the leather. The intent indeed is
to make them
waterproof.
waterproof. I'll be darned. And one more before we leave this table, because you're going to show us some things.
Sure.
Where did the Native Americans get all these beads?
Traders. When in the beginning, French traders came over here to the New World. They settled up in Nova Scotia and all the way down into Maine. They, especially from up there in Hudson Bay, they saw this fur trade available, and the desirable fur was, of all things, not the river otter like we saw, but the big thing was the beaver.
Oh, yeah.
The beaver has a very thick hair. Beaver had been used and could be used to make felt. And if you think about the Three Musketeers and those
they
big
all had
hats, if you
Europe
think about
needed
the
hats.
stovepipe hats, didn't matter where. Think of Van Gogh with his hat. Think of Rembrandt.
Yep.
Anyway, the best possible fur to make the most best 10X hats was beaver fur. So people from Europe had glass beads from Venice, Italy. They had sewing beads. They had necklace beads. And like these beads here are imitations of the ambassador beads that were taken out there with Sacagawea to go explore the new part of the New World, what you call Louisiana
the 1803,
Purchase. The 1803. So in other words, Native people saw and wanted glass beads for decoration. They wanted knives instead of stone knives, metal knives, cooking pots. Anything that the French could bring to trade, the natives would make use of. Now, some of the things that they made use of were in a different way than expected. Here in the Great Lakes area, their beadwork is not geometric. Their beadwork is floral, realistic, or abstract floral. And they love getting ribbon. The people around here in the Illinois country and Lake Michigan country, the whole Great Lakes, the ladies loved getting thimbles, but they didn't put them on their finger. They made them as pretty decorations. So it was part of the fringe.
Wow.
The ribbon was part of the decor, part of the edging. And then here you can see the glass beads, all of it coming together with the wool cloth. Hides were wonderful, but if you get a hide wet, it takes a while to dry it out. So the trade cloth was very important. So Native people never had these before, and they loved color. They liked having pretty clothes.
A whole new world of things to make art and clothes with. And you also have a friend here today who joins you in this in enjoying making this stuff.
I met old
He's
Jim
brought
Roach.
he's brought some of his stuff. We're going to talk to him and see some of his stuff.
Nice guy.
You're also going to show us how you do the beading.
Sure.
And you work in the other room. So let's go in there and take a look in there.
I would love to.
Joel, every year in Indiana, you go to a powwow called the Tecumseh Lodge, huh?
Tecumseh Lodge,
And,
Labor Day weekend.
In this particular instance, you got the blue ribbon for the best craft. This is a men's shirt.
No one else came that year.
Yeah, I'll bet. Nobody else entered, right? It is absolutely phenomenal.
Thank
and
you.
The interesting thing about this, not all the work you put into it, I mean, it's beautiful, but you finished up a good friend's work who passed away. She started this and you finished it up for her. That's terrific.
Yeah, there's a lady by the name of Tobel. This sweet lady out in Denver, Colorado, started beading these strips for a collector. She got the 1, 2, 3, 4 long strips made before she passed. The trading post sent them to the fellow that had ordered them, but he didn't know how to finish out making the shirt and didn't have the resources. So he sold me the strips. I did this beadwork, I built the shirt, and then I did the final beading down here and cut the fringe. And then in honor of Gertrude Tallbull's nice work, since I also had beads from the same trading post, I went ahead and I made a matching pair of leggings. And I followed her same pattern to honor her work.
That's terrific. That started, this men's shirt started with a deer hide that looked like that, and after you get through processing this, it's going to be white like that, right?
It will start out white, and then if I want to waterproof it, it will turn this color because of smoking it to waterproof
I see.
it.
Okay, I had the order backwards. Okay.
But in this case, these beautiful white shirts are called parade suits, and they're very nice on a nice sunny day with no chance of rain.
Okay,
They
gotcha.
also look nice on the wall.
Now I'm going to ask you to sit down over here because I want to get you working here a little bit. But as you start to bead there, I'm going to tell a little story about you. Okay? Would you go ahead and start your beading there for us, and we'll see what you're doing. When we mentioned when you were about 9 years old, you got started doing this, and this was your first bead craft outfit. And there's a picture of you right up there, that little Boy Scout. I can tell that's you, Joel, right there. But this was your first kit, huh?
That was the first kit. Used to be, I had older sisters, and when they found out my fascination with Native American art, they were nice enough to go to the supply store and buy me those kits.
And here's a copy of Mechanics Illustrated, the How to Do magazine. This was not all for kids, this was for adults too, but here's a picture of Joel in the teepee that he built and the headdress that he made at the age of 16. He's in the magazine. And speaking of the headdress, over here, over your shoulder, you made this one at the age of, what were you, 12 or 14 when you made this one?
I was about 14, 15 when I made that. It used to be that I could send off for feathers down by Alton, Illinois. And we could put things together, and I did the beadwork, and it's been rebuilt 2 times.
Is that right?
Yeah, things happen, and then you have to start over. And but that's a long time ago. I'm 71. I'll be 72 soon.
Now, I mentioned I asked you to go ahead and start doing some beadwork, and what we're going to do is if you would show us, you're going to make a floral pattern, right? Is that what you're going to do?
Yes.
And this is a little pouch. This is like a little purse or something, right?
Indeed. So what I'm doing here is the center of a, you can see there, this will be the center of a little flower.
And what you do is you have to string that thread with beads.
Yes, let me show you.
Okay.
I have beads like so. These happen to be red. Here are some blues. And I count or try how many beads it takes to go around the center. And then when I get it all the way around here, I'll take it around this way.
Okay, you're making a loop, like a little loop.
Make a loop. And there it is down there.
That's the center.
So that'll be the center. Okay. So I'll take a stitch, and then we'll make some petals.
And we will catch up with you in a minute, okay?
Sounds great.
Jim Roach, I don't know what the odds are of 2 men that are that interested in this kind of art to live so close together. You're from Decatur. Joel's from Clinton. I guess it's kind of nice to have a buddy nearby who can share this passion, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
It's pretty. It involves you totally, doesn't it, at the time? Because all this beadwork must take forever.
It takes a lengthy amount of time to do it. It's rewarding.
Yeah. You say you usually chew off one big project a winter. Is that what you
Yes.
do? Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you've had a lot of winters to work because you got a lot of. You just brought a small amount of the materials that you have made for us here
Yeah.
today.
I've got
And,
12. I got 12 mannequins at home.
and they're fully clothed.
Fully
huh?
clothed.
No kidding. No kidding. Hey, I asked you to pull out what you thought was one of your best pieces, and Joel had actually piped up and said that these saddlebags were some of your best work. What do you think?
That's what he says, and he says that's because of the way it's constructed, the choice of the colors, and the way it's laid out.
Oh, the colors are just vibrant, beautiful.
I had a picture of this saddlebag, but it didn't have the flags on it, and so I chose that saddlebag to make, and I put my own touch in it by putting the flags in.
And you're very patriotic. You put flags on everything, don't you?
Just about everything.
And in fact, let me show these beautiful little moccasins for an infant. Now, I noticed that there are no flags on this, but
No.
But look, aren't they cute?
Showing the bottom.
And these are part of your. Oh, the bottom. Well, it's red, white, and blue for sure. Okay. Okay. Now over here, this is an interesting piece. What would this be made for?
This is a pipe bag, and this is what the Indians would keep their pipe bowl and the tobacco and their striker inside the bag here, and then this long piece would be for a long stem.
Boy, that is
pipe.
a long stem pipe, all right. Yeah, yeah.
And I had it in there one day, and in my car, and I was crawling in the car. I put my hand on it, and I heard it go crunch, and I broke it.
Yeah. Now this is significant for other reasons, though, because is this the one that has the USMC and the branches of service on it?
I made this in honor of my family members. There's 14 of us, and there's 7 eagle feathers here, and there's 7 on the other side. It has their campaign ribbons, and then on the back side, we have
There's the branches of service.
the branches of the service,
Navy,
and 14
Army,
members that's been in
Air
the
Force.
service.
And 14 members in your family that have
Yes.
been in. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And you have this is a 50-starred flag here. On the other side, it's a 13-starred flag.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Now you also brought a shirt, and these things weigh a ton. I don't know. Can you pick this up for us?
A ton. That's a
They
lot.
do. They weigh a ton. Well, all those beads on there. My goodness. Okay. This is a Sioux. Is this a Sioux? Would be a Sioux
This is,
shirt.
yeah, it would be a Sioux. Yes.
Wow.
But once again, it's, flags, hair locks. People of the tribe would donate locks of their hair to this person, and then when he would go to a powwow and be a speaker, it represents that he speaks for his people.
And I'm noticing here that this is. It looks like you've dyed this blue.
Dyed it blue. In my mind, it was for valor, and then the red fringe is for the blood that's been shed.
And here we're looking here at this is for the bloods that's been shed. And again, this is a patriotic. You got flags on it. You've got the eagle, the American eagle on it, and this is in tribute to American soldiers. I see.
Yeah, to my family and all the other veterans that have served.
That's beautiful. Just beautiful. We have time for one more piece. What else can we show?
Show the vest.
Okay, show me the vest.
Oh,
I think you like that vest.
yeah, I like the vest. I like the vest.
Wow, look at that color. Oh man.
Again, this is Sioux. And I used pictures of about 3 different vests that I liked, and I just incorporated 3 into one.
And you made the vest and the beading as well. Huh?
Yes.
And this is Lakota style.
Lakota.
And this would have been about the time. This would have been shortly after the Custer's last stand, and I assume this is about that same area of the country, right? Where the Indians
Well,
meeting
it
the
shows
cavalry?
those. It depicts those characters.
Yeah, yeah.
And on the back side, it's a fully beaded vest.
Goodness. Oh, that's terrific. Just terrific. I know you brought a lot more. I wish we had more
Can we
time
show
to
the
see
shirt?
it. It's just
We
beautiful.
got time to show the dress?
One more. Okay, sure. One more.
Yeah.
You're enthusiastic about that dress. Huh?
I made this for my daughter.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Oh.
And what you see on the front side is also on the back side. This dress weighs about 15 pounds.
Wow.
And I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5 hides in this dress.
And is this deer hide?
Deer hide, smoked brain tan.
That's beautiful.
This is the the buckskin I told you, I went out and let it rain on it to get
Right,
help get rid
right.
of some of the smoke.
Well, thanks for showing this and bringing it from Decatur. Really, really
Not a
appreciate
problem.
it.
Not a
Thank you.
problem.
Well, Joel, when we left you, all we had was a little gold circle there. And now it's only a few minutes later, and look how far you've come. If you would, hold that still for us so we can get a good close look at it. Wow. Okay, so you've got the petals on there, and now you're going to go through the middle of the petals with red, huh?
Put a little red in there for a little contrast.
Isn't that cool?
Look pretty against the black velvet of this little pouch.
That's really cute.
Another stitch with these reds. And I come out over at the next petal.
There you go. Leave the red bead behind, huh?
Leave
There it
them
is.
right in there.
Isn't that nice?
And then
That's
I'll
cool.
go back in and I'll tack them down and I'll work my way around.
Now, I asked you to start another style for me, too, and you've got some, what do you call this, edge beading?
This is edge beading. On a piece of leather clothing or moccasins or whatever, if there is a cut edge after you've done the beadwork, it's nice to cover the edge with some beading to give it a finished look. So this is a 1 bead edge, this is a 2 bead edge. So now I'm getting ready to put another 1 bead down.
Oh my goodness, the
So
patience it takes.
I take this through here, and there's that bead. Now, that bead I just laid there, I come back up, go through the hole a second time, and when I pull this taut, it will stand up nice and proud.
And there's a good example of what a finished product of that edging and double edging beading looks like on these moccasins. That's really nice, Joel. Joel and Jim, too, I want to thank you both for letting us come here and visit today. These two men share a passion for the same thing, and there aren't many of them around, I don't think. But boy, what a great collection they have. In addition to what Joel is doing here today, he's consulting with the Decatur Area Arts Council on a Native American exhibit they're going to have this summer. So you may want to keep your eyes open for that. With another Illinois Story in Clinton, I'm Mark McDonald. Thanks for watching.
Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the support of viewers like you. Thank you. For a DVD copy of the program you've just seen, send $19.95 to Network Knowledge, P.O. Box 6248, Springfield, Illinois 62708. Be sure to include the program name, subject, and when the program aired. You can also order with your credit card by calling 800-232-3605.